1.5 crore students and 1.5 lakh jobs. Young men are increasingly being locked out of tech by aggressive diversity hiring. But you don't need to quit. Today, I'll show you the exact Microsoft Azure blueprint to bypass HR filters in 2026. No fluff, just strategy. Uh, though this is Technocrat Warrior, let's get straight to the point. Now, escaping the matrix in 2026, tech survival blueprint. The tech entry job point is structurally rigid against you today. And I'm speaking to the young aspirants, young tech aspirants, or the STEM aspirants over here. If you stand at front door demanding a job based on a generic engineering degree, you will starve. The market doesn't care about your complaint, but capital survey follows competence. When what I am giving you today isn't motivational speech, it is a structural exploit. We are bypassing the HR diversity filter entirely by stacking enterprise grade Microsoft scale that corporations are too desperate to ignore. The front door is closed now. Mass recruitment is a dead economic model. It used to be an economic model in 2020, in 2010, 2015, approximately by 2015, but now it is a dead economic model. When a system outputs one core identical STEM graduate for only 1.5 lakh entry level seats, your resume is statistically irrelevant. Company no longer have a margin to hire thousands of generalists and train them for 6 months. The new hiring model demands immediate deployable value. You either arrive on day one knowing how to deploy scalable infrastructure, or you don't arrive at all, and that's the reality of it. Why traditional path is failing? Let's look at the mechanics of why you are failing. Basic code generation is now commoditized with an 85% probability of AI replacing entry level coding roles. Combining that with mass oversupply of graduate and corporate diversity mandate, and especially for men, that actively filters you out. The system parameters have fundamentally shifted. The strategy isn't to fight the diversity quota, but give a technical moat so deep and specifically in the cloud architecture that HR is forced to hire you to keep the system running. Now the rule have changed and play the game new. You cannot be into the old world order and think that okay, my stop build my STEM degree will land me into a job. So stop building basic React or Java to do apps. This is an old game. The new game relies strictly upon impact hiring. Enterprise need developer who understand infrastructures, automation, backend heavy lifting. You need to pivot immediately to cloud architecture and DevOps. When you walk into interviews and demonstrate a deployed proof of concept showing automated pipeline, you instantly transition from a disposable junior coder to a high value asset. Skill eclipse identity, and that's the reality of it. The unfair advantage: 72% of the current enterprise demand is cloud based. Why? Because global businesses are dumping their physical data centers. It is cost optimized, and Indian IT giants and global capability centers run heavily on Microsoft stack. If you master Microsoft technology, you are aligning yourself with digital backbone of new economy. This is an unfair advantage. You aren't here just to learn a tool. You are integrating into exact ecosystem where trillions of dollars in corporate spendings are actively flowing. The one person enterprise stack. Now, this is very much important. Pay attention to it. You need to become one man enterprise. Azure is your heavy lifting engineer that secures scalable compute and end to end DevOps traceability. But when you combine Azure with Power Platform, you compress and development time from months to days. You stop being a fragmented coder. You become an end-to-end system builder. The stack allows you to rapidly custom automation, connect to enterprise grade AI and databases. This is how you execute an entire team. Now, why Microsoft? This strategic start line. Why exactly am I advocating Microsoft? I don't advocate Azure out of loyalty. I do work on some other platforms as well. I advocate it for it because of the ROI, which is sits at unmatched 5192 score. Furthermore, you have a zero financial barrier. As a student, you are entitled to get 10,000 rupees in free credit to build live production grade system immediately. Azure is explicitly hard coded into a job description of TCS, Infosys, and massive GCC. Plus, its native AI integration means you become an AI ready developer to default, future proofing your relevance. The economy of cloud mastery. Let's talk about market valuation. A generic STEM fresher begs for 4.2 lakh and it is entirely replaceable. A cloud engineer commands immediate 8.5 lakh, a 102 102% premium. If you layer DevOps or AI into the cloud foundation, you are pushing 8.8 to 9.2 lakh by day one. By year 5, you scale to 19 lakhs. You don't need an elite college degree for this. A market is bleeding for specific capability and pays aggressively for them. Now, coming to the exact point, that is your 180 days blueprint to relevancy. Here is a brutal execution protocol. Month 1 to 2, clear AZ900, master cloud architecture. Month 3 to 4, deploy actual platform as a service application. Stop watching tutorial and start documenting systematic proof of concept on your GitHub. Understand one thing, that proof of concepts are absolutely required, and today all the hiring, all the people who hire for consultants do look for these proof of concepts. Then beyond then month 5 and 6, master DevOps traceability and target for AZ4, AZ104 or AZ204 certification. Those are administrator or developer. Then beyond month 6, you aren't just applying for job, you're just aggressively networking a physical industry event with a portfolio that proves you can build. And trust you me, this will actually attract employers to you. Now, if you are somebody who wants to have an end game of scaling into a corporate ladder, you can breach a corporate firewall using cloud skill. Trajectory is vertical. You start with 6.5 lakh base infrastructure, but you aggressively pivot to a cloud DevOps specialist, marketing, Kubernetes, and CI/CD to double your value to 14 lakhs. Next, you evolve into multi-cloud architecture, optimize enterprise cost at 19 lakhs. Ultimately, your aim is for cloud product management at 24 lakhs, aligning technical capability with massive business objective. And this is how you engineer wealth. Now, if you are somebody who is an entrepreneur, if your corporate game is sickening you, and you really want to escape the metrics entirely, which I really encourage new age aspirants, new age STEM in men a lot. Global MSME desperately need digital transformation, but you cannot afford massive IT agencies. The large IT corporates, that is TCS, Infosys, Accenture, Everard, these companies, they charge more for digital transformation purpose, and we have lot of MSMEs, SMEs, small medium small enterprises are present who actually want to get affordable IT agencies for digital transformation. You use Azure to host their data securely, Power Platform to automate their workflow. You stop selling your resume to biased HR department, specifically speaking to men, and start selling turnkey, automated business solution directly to actual business owners. This is ultimately leverage, capitalizing your own technical skill to build autonomous wealth. Position yourself for growth. Now this may be a subjected to your interest topic that I'm covering. Technical strategy is just pair with geographical strategy, because you need to make sure that you are in a position, or you are in a place where, in a geographical location where you can reach out to these customers more efficiently. So technical strategy must pair with geographical strategy. Bengaluru is the cloud capital, holding 24,000 active job. Go there with for the highest volume of opportunities. However, Hyderabad can also be optimized hub. A salary to living cost ratio is superior over there, making the smartest play for aggressive wealth accumulation. If you secure remote work, that is absolutely amazing. Pivot to tier 2 cities like Ahmedabad and Jaipur to maximize your saving rate. Don't follow the herd. Position yourself where economic leverage is the highest. And Trust you me, this will be very much important because where the market is, your shop should lie over there. And that's the reality of industries. Formula for 2026 and beyond: to become an unstoppable technocrat, you need you need the intersection of three things. First, heavy back-end mastery of Microsoft stack. Second is undeniable portfolio beyond proof of concept, of deployed proof of concept. That is, you need to have a proof of concept available, evident that you can build, maintain, and scale real system. Third, and the most important, masculine discipline: you must aggressively ignore the noise, stop complaining about market, brutally execute this 180 days blueprint. When you force these three together, you absolute competence destroy an identity based hiring disadvantage. And that's the reality of it, because you need to make sure that you have to break the barrier of current market narrative that there is no job for men which is there. Now, the most important part: the supply is very high, the demand is of excellence is absolutely higher, and that is the reality. The market is overflowing with mediocre generalists, but it is starving for absolute excellence. If you master cloud architect infrastructure, you become the operational necessity. If you don't, you remain completely invisible. The side door to wide open is wide open for those who are willing to do heavy lifting. Start your Azure fundamental today. Deploy your first Power Apps tomorrow. Build doors, bypass the gatekeepers, exit the rat race. The market respects execution, nothing else. And execution is the key for a true highly masculine man. That's all for today. Do like, share, and subscribe, and do follow us for more insight on the tech space.